In this second video, we will go over the procedures for the fitness assessment tests. That includes both the pre-assessment and post-assessment tests. Both weight training and total fitness students will be required to do pre- and post-assessment tests of their fitness. The PE 123 and 223 students must complete assessments of only two things: their muscular strength and muscular endurance. These tests can be found in your student information packet. Please also make sure to complete pages 1 through 3 of your packet, including the Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire and the Assumption of Risk form. The general procedure for a 1-rep max test is to warm up with a light weight and practice the movement. Once you've warmed up, attempt 1 repetition of a weight that you feel is close to the maximum amount you can lift one time. If that is too easy, add more weight. If it's too heavy, remove some weight. Keep in mind that it's best to start light and then work your way up. Continue this process with about a 1 to 2 minute break in between each attempt until you find the greatest amount you can lift in 1 repetition. Try to determine this weight within 5 attempts to avoid fatigue setting in. Then write down the final weight in the spaces provided and include the seat settings if you've used one of the Cybex machines. Make sure an instructor initials each of the assessment results before you turn it in to their mailbox. Now for your strength test, you'll be required to do a 1 repetition maximum test for the upper body and for the lower body. For the upper body, it's recommended to do either a bench press or a chest press machine. For the lower body, it's recommended to do a leg press machine. If you do decide to use the bench press, make sure you have somebody spot you. Instructors are always available for this purpose. Now Kiana's going to show how to do the bench press. Basically, you put your hands a little wider than shoulder width apart, grasping with an overhand grab. She's going to lift the bar off. Inhale, and then she's going to bring it down to the chest without bouncing, and then extend the arms and exhale, and then re-rack the weight. Okay. Now if you feel more comfortable using a machine for the upper body 1-rep strength test, the chest press is probably the best choice. To start using the machine, the first thing you want to do is adjust the seat. Put your hand underneath and pull the knob here at the bottom. When you do this, make sure you write down the seat number, which is located underneath in this circle. You want the seat adjusted so that the handles are about chest level. When you use this machine, press down on the front lever to bring the handles to you. The point of this is that it takes the pressure off the shoulders, which are a much smaller muscle group and may be damaged by taking that full weight. You can put your hands on the handles and let off the lever. Keep your back flat on the pad. Press out fully without locking out the elbows. And then bring it back. When you've reached the point where your elbows are in line with your shoulders, press down on the lever and let it back. If you're using the chest press machine for your regular workout, what I would recommend is every time you come back, make sure those shoulders do not go, make sure the elbows do not go any farther back than the shoulders. The reason why is, once again, you can do damage to your shoulders by going back too far. For the lower body 1-rep max test, the leg press is probably your best option. To set the leg press machine, you first want to adjust the platform by pulling on the knob and either pushing it out or bringing it back in. You want the platform at a distance that you have a 90 degree bend at the knees. In terms of your foot position, you want your toes above your knees. You want to avoid having your toes below the knees because it puts far too much pressure on those joints. From here, you can set the weight, put your hands on the hand grips, have your back flat on the pad, and then push mainly using your heels. Fully extend the legs, but leave a slight bend so that you do not lock out the knees. And then bring it back returning to starting position. The muscular endurance test involves two particular tests. One is a push-up test in which you do as many push-ups as possible without rest, and then record that number. The second is a sit-up test in which you do as many sit-ups as possible in 1 minute, and then record that number. Don't forget to have an instructor initial this section when you're done. So for the muscular endurance test, you need to do two things. One is a sit-up test, and then another is a push-up test. For the sit-up test, basically you're doing as many sit-ups as you can in 1 minute's time. So you either need to use a stopwatch, which we have up front, or you can use the second hand on the clock. The proper position here, there's two different ways you can do it. And you can do it with a partner holding your feet. You can cross your arms and then come up and try and touch the elbows to the knees. Or another way of doing it is doing more of a crunch by extending the fingertips, lifting the shoulders off the ground and reaching past the knees. Come back down and then lifting up again as high as you can. The key here is to use the abdomen, lifting off the shoulders off the ground. What you want to avoid is bouncing the head off the ground without using the abdomen. Do this, as I said, as many times as you can in 1 minute, and then write down the total number of sit-ups. So for the muscular endurance test, the push-up portion will involve doing as many push-ups as you can without rest. The proper position for would be to have the hands shoulder width apart, have the feet straight behind, keep the body tight, keep the butt tucked in. You're going to lower your body down until the chest almost touches the ground and then come back fully extending. Do this as many times as you can without rest, and then count the number of total push-ups that you did. So for the push-up test, you can use the modified bent knee position. Kiana is demonstrating right now. You have your knees on the ground with the feet interlocked. She's going to lower down until her arms reach a 90-degree angle and then push up again. She'll continue to do as many push-ups as she can without rest. As I said before, PE 123 and 223 weight training students must only complete the muscular strength and muscular endurance assessments. PE 186 and 286 total fitness students must complete 3 out of 4 assessments. The other possible assessments include cardiovascular endurance and flexibility. For the cardiovascular endurance test, you need to complete a 1.5-mile run. Now, if you want to, you can also walk or jog for this 1.5 miles, but the goal of this test is to complete it in as little time as possible. Now, if you do it out on the track, you can run around 6 complete laps to make 1.5 miles. First of all, though, you want to make sure and have your instructor's permission. You also want to take a stopwatch with you to record the time. Now, if you do decide to do this test in the fitness center and use the treadmill, you want to, first of all, straddle the treadmill to make sure you're not stepping on the belt when it starts, and then hit the start button. After a few seconds, it'll begin and the belt will start moving. Go ahead and step onto it. Adjust the speed to what you need. And just walk at a 0-degree incline. After you've completed 1.5 miles on the distance, go ahead and step off and record the total time that took. For the flexibility assessment, you need to do the sit and reach test, which involves this metal box. You want to take off your shoes and place your feet about 8 inches apart with your legs completely straight on the floor. You're going to overlap the fingertips and put them up against the finger plate. Breathe in deep. And then exhale, pushing forward while moving forward slowly without bouncing or jerking. Once you've gone as far as you can, record the distance of the finger plate using scale number 2. the number in the circle will be the number you want to record. You can do this up to 3 times and take the highest number. As I said, PE 186 and 286 students must complete 3 out of these 4 tests.